You know what's wild is that most women start their day layering hormone disruptors before even having breakfast. Perfume, lotion, shampoo, candles, all filled with chemicals that don't just disrupt your hormones, but they also impact your gut, your nervous system, and your overall health. When your gut is inflamed, your hormones get chaotic. When your nervous system's overloaded, your symptoms flare. These tiny daily exposures to regular household items and even things that you wear in your body on a day-to-day, they compound quietly for many, many years until you're at your breaking point and you don't even know why. And for me personally, my flare-ups show up as eczema, acne, and headaches. So today I'm gonna walk you through my home, room by room, showing all the different products that are quietly wrecking your hormones. And I'm gonna give you some options that you can use instead. And if you're new here, my name is Anna, and I love making videos about all things women's health, whether it's your gut, your nervous system, your hormones, putting together videos combining my personal experience, what the science says. So hopefully I can help someone else out there who doesn't have to go to the same mistakes that I went through as I was going through my health and my healing journey. For context, I'm 30 years old and I was on birth control for over a decade. And once I came off, my health went to the shitter. I had crazy hormonal acne, I broke out with crazy eczema, and some of these issues are things that I'm still fixing today. One thing's for sure is that I wish I was taught about women's health growing up. I wish I knew more about hormone health. Ultimately, I just wished I slowed down more and listened to my body rather than just bulldozing through life and only caring about productivity, output, hustling, all those things. But before we get into this video, I just want to caveat that it's not about living a completely perfect non-toxic life. And I'm gonna be honest, not everything in my house is non-toxic, clean, organic, non-chemical. No, that's not the case. There are a lot of clean brands out there nowadays that have made alternatives for existing products, but in my opinion, there's still a lot of them that are at a higher price point that might not be accessible for everyone. Until we can kind of get to the stage where more people are adopting cleaner technologies, cleaner products, that's when we'll kind of see the prices come down. And ultimately, only you can decide what's worth the investment for you. The goal of this video isn't to make you paranoid and to make you completely changing everything and ordering everything brand new. This video is to show you where you can make cleaner swaps, or maybe just giving you knowledge about things that do have an impact on your health that you might not even know about. The goal is to slowly rebuild your collection of products in your home so that things become cleaner over time. It doesn't have to be an overnight transformation. So let's head on over to my bathroom because that's where I think there's gonna be the most hormone disruptors. So before we even get into the products, we gotta talk about two ingredients which you've probably heard about before, which are phthalates and parabens. These two key ingredients are very common in a lot of personal hygiene, makeup, skincare type of products. Phthalates are chemicals that are used to make plastic, but they also help fragrance stick to your skin or your hair. They're in perfume, scented lotions, shampoos, candles, basically anything that smells nice. The issue with phthalates is that they're endocrine disruptors. So they mimic estrogen and they interfere with how your hormones communicate. And as women, you know our hormones are everything. And when you're exposed to endocrine disruptors for a long period of time and frequently, that's gonna impact your cycle, PMS, mood swings, fertility, basically all the women's health issues that we frequently deal with. And the easiest way to spot phthalates is to look for that word in products which is listed as fragrance. Brands are not legally required to list phthalates on their products, so that's where you gotta do your own homework. Ooh, this is a good example. Okay, so at first glance, this is where the marketing will trick you because the coloring makes it look like it's a very organic, clean package, and it says things like, oh, with silk protein and neem oil, coconut and hibiscus. So they kind of use these words that make you feel like it's like natural ingredients. So on the side, you can see here what it's not made with. There's no parabens, there's no phthalates, there's no mineral oils, no petroleum, no animal testing. When you actually look at the ingredients on the back, it still says they use fragrance, parfum. Even small amounts of fragrance can impact your gut, your health over a period of time, especially if you're using something like this daily for many, many years. I have about a full bottle left. Am I gonna throw this away? No, I'm gonna finish it up and I just won't buy it again. Another thing you can do is there's a lot of websites and apps nowadays where you can scan the barcode of the products or take a photo of it or search up the product name, and it'll be able to list out all the ingredients and basically give it a rank, a green light or red light, whatever it is, on whether the product is actually clean or not. What you can use instead of mousse is honestly just coconut oil or jojoba oil. It's not gonna give you the same texture per se, but it's still better than using something like this. Sunscreen is another product that you often use, hopefully every day, but you gotta be very careful with sunscreen. And it is so complicated now because there's zinc oxide, mineral, chemical, and There's just so many different sunscreens, but more or less, I just use those apps like Skin Decoder to figure out whether these products are good for me or not. I wouldn't recommend this particular sunscreen because I find it very greasy. It's just because the salespeople sold this to me, but I actually would not buy this again. So K-Beauty also has a lot of good sunscreens, but again, you gotta be careful. Some of them do have fragrance. My skin is not perfect. I'm still dealing with a lot of hormonal and gut issues, which is the cause of my skin issues. But for the most part, I just try to find a clean as possible sunscreen as I can. That's not gonna disrupt my skin and my hormones. This is an example of a very good, actually clean product. This is a micellar water that's for removing waterproof makeup. So it's alcohol-free, fragrance-free, and hypoallergenic, which is very important, especially if sensitive skin. So you want something like this, minimal ingredient list at the bottom here. And as always, you can scan the barcode and put it into those apps to see if it's clean. But this is one that I really trust for removing makeup. I'm just gonna quickly show the stuff that I use as an acne-prone hormonal girly that's been fixing her skin. At nighttime, I just use a CeraVe cleanser. This is the cleanest you can get in terms of cleanser from what I understand, and it's a hydrating cleanser so it doesn't strip your skin, which is very important for acne prone girlies. And every other day I use this azelaic acid for my acne scars. When I come to the shower, I'll use this Heartleaf toner. This one is quite simple and quite clean. There's two different moisturizers that I use, which are the cleanest hydrating lotions that I could find that don't make me break out. And it's the Dr. Althea 345 cream and then the Astura 365 barrier lotion. This is an example of a simple lotion that you can get that's not too expensive, that doesn't have parabens, phthalates, no synthetic fragrance. They use essential oils and things like that. There are tons of brands like this nowadays, and you know, this is actually quite affordable. Like it's like 10, 15 bucks for a whole bottle that you can use literally for half the year. What I don't love though is that it is in plastic, which isn't ideal, but because it's in the bathroom and there isn't really sunlight in here, so it keeps at a cool temperature, I'm not as worried. If you want to get really particular, you can transfer everything into a glass, but we don't got time for that. So this is not that big of a deal for me. As much as I love the application of this jojoba oil, it is in plastic, so not ideal. Whereas this one is in a glass bottle. So ideally you want to look for things in glass bottles. But again, I want to show you that not everything is perfect, because even though the bottle is glass, the dropper is plastic. If you have a full bottle of something in plastic already, don't throw it away. Just use it up or transfer it out. I stopped using fluoride toothpaste about 2 years ago. First of all, fluoride would make me nauseous, and I've always wondered why. When I've done a little bit more research, fluoride isn't actually necessary for us. So ever since then, I started getting nano hydroxyapatite toothpaste, which is basically a mineral that helps fortify enamel to support a healthy smile. Promotes oral health, helps maintain your enamel, basically does the same thing that regular toothpaste do. But there's no SLS, no parabens, no artificial flavors, and no endocrine disruptors. I will say this is one of those things where I think it's worth the investment, because you're brushing your teeth at least 2 times a day, every day. So that per use basis is quite high. I don't use clean makeup. And the reason being is because I don't wear makeup super often. So some of these products I've been using for almost 2 years. So I haven't had the chance to repurchase new makeup yet. But once I do, once I finish all this up, I will 100% be purchasing cleaner makeup. First of all is primers. Primers is literally the layer that you put on your skin after you do your skincare. So you do a great job of having clean skincare, and then you layer on a shitty primer that is gonna clog your pores and going to add parabens and phthalates to your skin. Like, there's really no point of having a good skincare regimen. So I actually don't even use primer anymore, to be honest. Another one, I know this one is everyone's holy grail, and it's my holy grail too. It's the Hourglass Concealer. This is not clean at all. And if you know a substitute concealer that is clean and also has high coverage like this one, let me know, because I don't know, this might be one of those things that I can't give up. Plug the ingredients of this product into those apps to actually decode what is each individual ingredient that are inside these products. So another one is blush. There's a lot of talc-free blushes nowadays, which is good. Tower 28 is pretty clean, but I will say it's probably not 100% clean. Don't quote me on this. Bronzer is also another product that often uses filler ingredients, so just make sure that you're getting one that is clean. The brand Saye is pretty good. Highlighter is also one that you want to look at. Lipsticks nowadays, I feel like there are a lot of clean brands out there. This is not clean, this is MAC. This was a gift, so I haven't even used it yet. I love using eyeshadow sticks, and these are also ones that you want to be careful about. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like a lot of products at Sephora are not that clean. So we talked about phthalates, but we haven't talked about parabens, which is the other P word. So parabens are preservatives, and they basically stop mold and bacteria from forming in your skincare and makeup products. The problem with parabens is that they act like weak estrogens in the body, which can throw off your natural hormonal balance over a long period of time. And there's research that links high paraben exposure to reproductive issues, skin irritation, and potential disruption in your thyroid function. Okay, so now let's also look at perfumes, because that is another huge thing that is an endocrine disruptor. Okay, I know so many people love scents, and so many people love luxury scents as well. I was on a hype train for a long time, not gonna lie. Like when everyone was obsessed with Le Labo, Byredo, all that stuff. I mean, people are still obsessed with it. But the truth is, these bougie ass brands that are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, they're not even clean. And when I realized that, like when that clocked in for me, I was like, why am I spending on something that is literally wrecking my hormones? So ever since then, I really stopped buying any perfumes, and I'm just finishing up what I have left or whatever was given to me. And it's actually quite a lot. You know, there's a lot of brands and fragrance and body mists. They all contain parfum, right? Fragrance, and those are naturally just endocrine disruptors. What clocked in for me, that not only are these endocrine disruptors, but when I could physically feel that wearing perfume wasn't good for me. Do you ever go into a car and you start realizing how strong your smell is and you almost gag? That happened to me once, and I was like, oh my God, it's not that I'm getting car sick, it's that my fragrance is literally making me sick, because I'm finally able to smell how strong it is and how it just doesn't, how my body just doesn't like it. But you can also use essential oils as fragrance. I like to just get roller balls of essential oils, like things like bergamot, rose, vanilla, even peppermint, even eucalyptus, and just rub it a little bit on my skin, because essential oils aren't bad for you unless you have an allergic reaction to them. Alternatively, you can just put them on your clothes as well. It doesn't have to be on your skin. It won't last as long, but at least it's not directly going onto your skin. Now let's talk about your closet. Nobody talks about how the material of your clothes can also impact your hormones. Most underwear and gym clothes these days are made from synthetic fibers like polyester, nylon, spandex, viscose, the list goes on. Basically, plastic. And with these materials, they try to market them as moisture wicking, but in fact, they actually just trap heat, sweat, and bacteria, which will throw off your vaginal microbiome and your skin's microbiome, and raises your local estrogen dominance risk. Plus, the dyes from microplastics can literally get absorbed into your skin, which is your largest detox organ. So instead, what you want to do is swap it for organic cotton or bamboo or wool or cashmere products. Obviously, your workout clothes and your underwear, you're not going to use wool and cashmere. Workout clothes, ideally organic cotton. But the reality is, organic cotton nowadays is so expensive. Again, if you're someone like me who's collected gym clothes for the past decade, and it's not saying that you should throw them out, what you should do is make sure that you wash them thoroughly to make sure you get off any chemical residue, especially if it's a new top. So for me personally, these are a bunch of bra tops from Lululemon, and there's two things that are wrong with them. One, they're actually way too tight for me. That's actually not good for your nervous system, because it signals to your nervous system that you're in fight mode. So it's actually better to wear more comfortable, breathable, and loose clothing. Number two is that a lot of these are made with plastic, so a lot of polyester in them, a lot of nylon. Because I get so sweaty and I work out so much, I don't feel like it's worth it for me to keep these sports bras, because I'm constantly exposing myself to these materials day in, day out. My first goal is to get sports bras that actually fit me. And then the second goal is to find sports bras that are made with a higher percentage of cotton. Sorry, I'm showing you my panties on the internet. Okay, so this is actually a really good example of a brand that is so popular, so expensive, yet they're selling basically plastic underwear. This is a plastic thong, literally. So this is a Skims thong, which I think was like 30, 40 bucks, okay? 76% polyamide, which is basically plastic, and 24% elastane. But then it says the gusset is 100% cotton. The gusset is the little part where it touches your actual lips of your vagina. That part is 100%, which, okay, sure, thank you. Thank you for making the little tiniest piece 100% cotton, but like you could have made the rest 100% cotton too. Again, this is one of those things where this is literally touching your body 24/7. You might be sweating in it. You're gonna be sitting in the whole day. That's where your reproductive organs are. You do not want to be wearing this. I recently ordered a bunch from The Gap. They have a lot of great organic ones. H&M surprisingly has some organic cotton ones as well. You really just gotta look for the materials and be careful on that. Calvin Klein is another brand that does a lot of organic cotton underwear and thongs, so I would highly recommend them as well. But yeah, anything that's like seamless generally is not going to be organic cotton because it needs to make that like kind of stretchy, sheeny material. Cotton doesn't really give that look, so that's why I also stopped buying seamless, because it is most likely not going to be cotton. Like if I had to pick and choose, I would spend the money on anything that touches your skin and your reproductive organs the closest first, and then take your time with the other products. Because like, let's be honest, like you're not gonna overhaul your entire closet that you've built for the past however many years, right? Now we're in the kitchen, another popular location with lots of plastics and hormone disrupting things. Let me show you. Number one is cookware. This is an all-clad non-stick ceramic coated pan. And yep, I learned that this is not good for you because the non-stick coating releases a lot of chemicals into your food. And what do they call that? There's a special word for it, Teflon. Yes, that's what the word is. So you want to avoid this and switch to stainless steel, which is a pain in the ass to cook with, in my opinion. But once you get used to it and once you learn the mechanics of it, it's actually quite easy and actually quite easy to clean as well. Video I highly recommend before getting stainless steel pans is watching Joshua Weissman's video on how to cook and clean with stainless steel pans, because that's gonna be a lifesaver for you. You also wanna make sure that your mugs and things that you drink hot beverages out of are either ceramic or glass, no plastic. I have a lot of Tupperware where the bottom is glass, but the top is plastic. And this is brand new. Like, I do not want to throw this away. I am Asian and I want to keep this. When it comes to using this, the things I'll make sure is that one, the food isn't touching the top. Even though it's BPA free, it's still plastic. And then two, I will never microwave this with the lid. And ideally, I'm not microwaving either, because that's also not good for you. It's like, okay, I can't be perfect with it, but how can I kind of find a happy medium to make sure that I'm still getting some use out of this product while not jeopardizing my health? Cookware utensils are also something that you gotta look out for, especially because they usually touch heat. So anything like this, plastic silicone spatula, you wanna avoid using as much as possible. They do market these as BPA free now. However, it can still leach into your food. So for me instead, I like to use wooden cooking utensils. I will say they are difficult to clean and I feel like they trap a lot of bacteria, so this is not my go-to. My go-to is using stainless steel tongs. I literally use this to cook everything, like even vegetables, meat, and noodles. I like these. These are one of my favorite ones and super easy to clean. For example, whenever you're buying ingredients, you wanna make sure that you're getting them in glass as much as possible, because obviously glass can't leach anything into the food, but you gotta think about it. When a truck is transporting massive amount of bottles of soy sauce, let's say for example, and they're all in plastic, this truck is like driving across the country and it's probably like super, super hot in the truck. So as that soy sauce and plastic bottles is being transported, there are levels of plastic that are being melted into the soy sauce. And let me just show you my fridge because I want to show you how it's not perfect and not everything is plastic free. So for example, fruits, I will try to buy them loose as much as possible and I'll try to buy organic and whatnot. So that's great. And look, great, this fridge is plastic, but nothing I can do about it. But for example, sometimes I order these like mushrooms and it comes with plastic, right? Unfortunately, that's the reality. So I will just try to remove this from the plastic or eat it as fast as I can. Again, this is touching plastic, but if I'm really, really anal about it, I can put it into a container, but I'm lazy, so I'm not gonna do that. Okay, this is me being lazy. Like I should have taken this out of the plastic, for example, and not let it chill in here, which is not good for the vegetables either, but yeah. I just want to show you guys that it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just about being aware of what you can do to minimize the amount of plastic in here. When it comes to organic versus non-organic food, honestly, I used to have a really strong opinion about organic, but I was eating organic for like 10 years and I still developed gut dysbiosis and a dysregulated nervous system. So at the end of the day, I feel like if cost is an issue, better off just focusing on eating real whole foods first and mindfully eating your food, chewing enough times, and managing your stress and doing all those things that are going to be more impactful for your gut, your nervous system, and your hormone health. And then when you have the budget to invest in organic foods, then definitely do that. But I think it's one of those things where you can only really decide for yourself. These days, I go between organic and non-organic. How I decide is actually just based on the type of food that I'm buying. So anything that has like a skin, I will generally be okay with buying non-organic because I can just peel the skin off and not eat that. Obviously, chemicals and stuff like that still go through the skin, but it's just kind of like how I decide. Your best bet is to buy local, and that's what I try to do. I basically have this weekly subscription box that sends me whatever groceries are in season. If organic is like 50 cents more, then I'm just going to do the organic version because the difference is so nominal, so I might as well just get the better thing. At the end of the day, don't fret. The most important thing is to just eat real whole foods and then go from there. I really think we need to like pick our battles when it comes to deciding what to be really, really particular about when it comes to plastic, because it can literally become an obsession in trying to make everything non-endocrine disrupting in your home. I try not to get too much anxiety about it because then it's just gonna make me stressed. That's why I'm also really trying to advocate for balance and not being overly strict. It's hard to avoid it forever. It's just about minimizing where you can. The dryer and laundry area is something else that has some endocrine disrupting things. Dryer sheets. These are oh my God, it's so scented. Endocrine disruptors, these probably have some chemicals in it. And I know this is a big corporate brand, so they definitely are not very clean, but you don't have to use dryer sheets. And to be honest, I feel like they don't even do anything. What I do now instead is use wool balls. You can add essential oils to this to make your clothes smell good, but honestly, I like when clothes are just neutral and don't have a smell. These help with removing the static and wrinkles in your clothing, so highly recommend them, and they last literally forever. Most detergents and softeners and fresh linen scents contain quats, ammonium compounds, and synthetic musk. They can mess with your estrogen and your stress hormones while overloading your nervous system with that constant chemical scent exposure. This is an example of a brand that you do not want to be getting. Even though it says it's free and gentle, no irritating residues, no dyes, no perfumes, these cleaning agents that I can't even name, and it's got these disruptive enzymes. But unfortunately, I'm gonna finish this bag up and then never buy this again because I got bamboozled by the front marketing. This is one of those things where you can get easily tricked because of the baby blue coloring, and they make it look like it's all clean and organic, but it's not. I can't believe I just got tricked by this because I'm literally reading the back and it's like, those are all the ingredients. Like, that is not clean. So yeah, clothes are things that you wear every day on your body. And what's the point of having cotton clothing or wool and cashmere clothing that's very high quality and then messing it up with a cleaning agent that is literally disrupting your skin? Okay, last but not least, let's go to the home office area where we're going to look at our last set of non-toxic swaps. If you're someone that likes burning candles while you work to create a vibe, make sure that they are beeswax or coconut-based or soy-based candles and not paraffin wax candles. Inhaling paraffin wax or traditional wax candles, not good for you. And again, if you're very sensitive to scents as well, that can also overload your nervous system. Nowadays, a lot of luxury candles are made with soy, but they do use artificial fragrance. So again, it's kind of the same concept as the perfumes that we've talked about before. So another option, if you want your office to smell good, but you don't want to be inhaling chemicals all day, get a diffuser with essential oils. Too much essential oils is not good because you're just constantly inhaling stuff. If you really want to just clear the air in your office space, sometimes all you need to do is open a window. For me, when I learned about all these toxins and things like that, what I did was first go through the things that touch my skin, the things that affect my food, and the things that affect the air that I breathe. Those are going to be your biggest daily exposures. Because your hormones, your gut, your nervous system, everything is interconnected. When you lower your total amount of chemical exposure, your body finally has the space to regulate again. If you're interested in topics like women's health, I actually send out a free monthly newsletter that compiles 4 different things that I've learned in the past month. 1 thing that I'm unlearning, 1 recipe, 1 gut healing protocol, and a tool or product that I'm using that I'm loving that's for my health. So if you want to be a part of that, just hit on the link in the description to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.